What's up? What's up? What's up, good people? How y'all doing out there? This July 18th, Sunday afternoon. Welcome to the first summer edition on Sunday. We've decided to revamp and do a little restructuring as we on summer rules. We know people are out and about doing their thing. And so we coming to you for the first time on a Sunday afternoon, new time. So I'm looking forward to having a fantastic another conversation like we always do. If this is your very first time, this is Real Talk for Real Men. I'm your host, Lee Black, and we're going to be talking about some fun things. In case you don't know, we do shows on Wednesdays and now on Sundays. The Wednesday night shows are from 8 to 10, and there we tackle hard topics, serious things. It is an interactive group conversation about relationship topics, and we cover everything from love, sex, marriage, communication, drama, divorce, cheating, lies, secrets. We don't hold back. We keep it real, we keep it honest, but we also keep it respectful. I want to invite any and everybody who want to be a part of that. You're welcome to come on. You don't have to come on for the entire time. We love pop-ups here at Real Talk because that's what it's about, because we know we're dealing with real life. So feel free to pop in, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions. We love to hear from you. On the weekends, we keep it a little bit light. We keep it sexy and free and fun, and carefree. After all, we worked all week. And for Sundays, it's the beginning of our week. So today, I'm going to bring in my guests, and we're going to be talking about hot topics. So we're going to have some fun with this. So first and foremost, let me introduce my co-host, Mick Mac, all the way from Dirty M Town. What's up, Mick Mac?
What's going on, Black? How are you?
I'm doing good, baby girl. How are you today?
I'm sleepy. It's
All
Sunday. I'm sleepy.
right. Today, I guarantee you, but that's all right. You're out there with Tasha and you feeling a little sleepy, trust me, the subject's going to wake you up. I got my main man, Mr. Kenny. This is the sports guy from TFG Network. My brother, right from Dallas. We both are part of the TFG networking world. He's got a sports show. And if you haven't tuned in, he gives you sports from a different perspective, from a real world perspective. It's the real deal. You can't get it nowhere else. What's going on, Brother Kenny?
What's going on, Brother Black? How you
Yes,
doing?
sir.
Miss
Yes,
Tasha?
sir.
Long time
Good
no
to see
see.
you.
Long
Yeah,
time
man.
no
We
see,
back.
man.
We back. And
Yes,
thank you for
sir.
showing up, my brother. We appreciate this.
Yes,
An
sir.
inaugural Sunday show. Appreciate it. Fantastic. I've also got my sister. This is my sister, been a ride with me from the birth. As they say, from the tomb to the womb. This is my sister right here. Everybody know how Sherry get down. What's up, sis?
What's up, brother? Hi,
All right.
Kenny. Hi, Tasha.
Hey,
Hey,
Sherry.
Sherry.
Yes, sir. So good to see everybody. So look, in case you haven't been there for the hot topics, we're going to discuss the hot topics and we do it real talk style. So we'll cover what we know about what's going on, but then we always kind of see how does it actually relate to relationships? Because at the end of the day, just sitting here talking about social media and gossip and things like that, if we can't apply to anything, then what are we doing? And so, how are we going to do this? If you're coming in late, feel free to join. But I've got a nice panel right here. And so, Tasha is going to shoot out some topics for us and give us the insight as to what the actual gossip part is. And then we're going to give our opinions. And of course, I'm going to try to see how that relates to relationships. I have no idea what the order is. I like to be as fresh and new with my opinions, just like you, the audience. This is not planned, it's not rehearsed. Otherwise, it wouldn't be real. So, McMac, take us away. What we got at the top of the list?
So the very first one that we must discuss, because it has a lot going on, is Nick Cannon and his entourage of baby mamas that he's just going around and collecting. The number of them is just, the list is constantly growing. It is just his feelings, his attitudes behind the number of baby mamas, his reasons for why he's not committing to any of them in a relationship is, to me, I would say sickening a little bit. So basically, he just had twins with the one girl. This is
Right.
the fourth child within the last year, I believe, with like what is this, the second or third woman? And let's just talk about it. And the way that I'm processing it is why are women still getting with him, knowing that all he wants is just to have a baby with them? He's made it very clear in interviews that he does not ever plan to get married again. Relationships are not for him, and he just loves children. And because he feels like he can afford to have them, he's having them. And if he says if he has a good vibe with a woman, then he's going to have one with her. It's a lot going on, right? It's a lot to unpack.
Definitely that.
That is, you're right. Wow.
So I want to get you guys' opinions. And before I get to you, Sherry and Kenny, let me throw this out there. You know, is there anything wrong with that? Because normally when we talk about somebody fathering kids, a lot of the frustration that a lot of women have is that the father don't take care of those babies, right? Well, let's be honest now. This is a multimillionaire. So finances is not the issue. Also, let me throw in there, Tasha made a point that he is upfront in telling women, I have no intentions of getting married. You know what you're getting. So I guess I'm wanting to get you guys' opinions on, is he doing anything wrong? Is it fair? What do you guys think?
I think he's not doing anything wrong. And my thing is he's being honest with these women up front, and that allows the woman to make the choice if they willing to go with what he's going with, you know. So he's giving them the choice. You know, most times men don't give the women a choice when it comes to that situation. A lot of times we sneak around and won't be honest with that woman up front and say, look, you know, I might drop this baby in you, but I ain't trying to fool with you like that. But he, at least he's being honest. And number two, he's financially able to take care of those children. And from what I've read, that he's very involved with his children. It's not like he's, you know, there's no involvement there. And then too, I also read that I think he's believing that he doesn't have much time to live. So he wants to have as many little Nick Cannons or Nikki Cannons as he possibly can to carry on his name. So is he doing anything wrong? I mean, I think probably from the Christian side and the religious side, people would say that, you know, having all these kids out of wedlock. But honestly, I don't think he's doing anything wrong.
All right. Sherry, what you say? And then Tasha, I want you to retort if you disagree.
I agree with Kenny. I don't think he's doing anything wrong because he's upfront with these women. But I think there's something wrong with the women that's just willing to be having a baby by somebody, even if they can take care of them. Like, you know, he got the money. Because, you know, where is the quality time and all the other things that kids need? You understand? So to me, these women, they're not valuing themselves to be trying to just have a baby by a man because you think he got money and he gonna take care of the kid. Or whatever, or you gonna be taking care of they. To me, they freeloaders, they trying to be.
Oh,
we lost your volume, Sherry. Sherry, we lost.
You can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Something happened.
I know our mother keep calling me. She keep calling me.
She hit me as well. So
yeah, she keep calling.
Eloise later, baby. But okay, go ahead, sis.
So these women, it's quite disgusting that they are willing to do that like that to me. Because I mean, you wouldn't, even though he's telling you up front, you don't want your kid to have a connection to a father. I mean, to me, all them play good roles. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't understand these women out here. You know, and I'm not gonna just be laying down with a man just because I think he got money and he can take care of a baby and be having no baby. Okay. I mean, not in this day and age. Anyway, definitely. You know.
Okay. Now Sherry raised some interesting points, but I'm gonna start at the back, and I'm gonna come back to you, Tasha, in a second as well. But you ended it, sis, by saying in this day and age. And so I'm going to start there because I'm going to play devil's advocate. Now, in this day and age, where in my personal opinion, men don't get to choose, they get chosen. He's not twisting their arms. He's not forcing them to lay down. He's being upfront. He's being honest. And financially, he's giving them, to your point, exactly what they're looking for. Because let's not kid ourselves out here. Part of the new welfare system especially when you come to Rich and Famous, says have a baby, and that's some level of peace and security, taking care of yourself. And so he is Nick Cannon. I don't for one moment think that he's gone out searching the club, this and that. He's Nick Cannon. He walks in the room, they know who he is. You can Google his income, his net worth. They kind of know what they're getting into. And if they're okay with whatever quality of time he's willing to allow, then you kind of have to say, well, again, is he doing anything wrong? It's a mutually beneficial relationship that they're entering into. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate there, so I'm just bringing those points in. Tasha, what do you think based on those factors?
So, where yes, they are grown people entering into this, but just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do it. My problem is where we are and the conversations that are going on now, and especially in relation to the Black family dynamic and trying to get those dynamics back, the traditional. I raised the question, like to Sherry's point, what is the quality time that is being spent? These children are not all in the same home. They're being raised with different women who have different moral codes. The sibling dynamic, the sibling relationship there, are they really even spending adequate time with one another? I mean, like, really, like, what is the end game here? Is this producing better contributing members to society, or are we just producing just the next generation of spoiled, celebrity children? I have a problem with it. Like, again, he may not be doing anything wrong, other than religiously, but morally, I do question it. So
how many kids does he have? How many in total?
Seven
children. How old is the oldest? Do we know?
That's Mariah Carey.
Mariah's kids. Okay, his kids with Mariah's. Okay, all right. So they're not very old. I mean, are those kids 10? Are they
right?
10?
Exactly.
Like 11 and
exactly.
12, yeah.
Okay, so he got a lot of young kids. Okay, yeah,
and
that's
also, I wanted to raise the issue too. You're jumping from bed to bed with multiple women. The disease factor too, because you hit these women wrong.
Yeah.
Woo! So
yeah,
I again, it's a lot to unpack there.
That's why I love all the points you're putting out there, Tasha, and to the impetus on this show. You do raise that interesting dynamic that how do we get back to a place where there's some level of tradition, because I know it's been broken to all hell, and that this is the new thing. And and for me, I'll say this part too, there's a great hypocrisy here, that if this was just John Smith doing this, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are guys out there we know right now that's not rich, not famous, that can have the same mindset. You know what I'm saying? They can have that same level of narcissism, which we haven't even mentioned, because you brought that up, Kenny, that he may be feeling his own mortality. So he's thinking, I want to produce as many kids. Well, that's a level of narcissism that, I'm going to populate the earth to a certain extent. And I know each and every one of us probably know people like that. I want to have as many kids as I can. My seed, she carried my seed, this thing out there. And to you guys' points, even with money, with fame, there is no replacement of that time of a child living and being that with that parent on a permanent basis. So you guys bring up some good points, and I love that point you made, Tasha, about multiple different women with multiple belief systems.
Yes.
Multiple belief systems. So even if you are a person that your intentions are, this is how I want my son or daughter, the primary custody, whoever have primary custody, they're really going to be the ones, you know what I'm saying, exerting more influence than you ever could of what that kid grows up to believe. So you make a good point, Tasha, that next generation coming behind. So
let me ask you all this. Sure. Do you think he's approached these women outside of Mariah? Do you think that Nick approached these women sort of like with a business contract when it comes to impregnating them?
Whoo.
Could you see that? I could see that.
Kenny, I could
I
too.
don't think it was. I don't. I think it
Okay.
was, you know what it is. I maybe
Mhm.
even to your point of, look, I feel like I don't have much time left and I'm really just interested in having kids. We have a good vibe because everyone's like all big on vibes now. We have a good vibe. We get along for just a short amount of time. So I think that you would be a good parent, which I think is crazy. Because again, he's not dating these women exclusively and for an extensive amount of time before they become up pregnant. I don't think it's like a business thing. I think it's just like, let's just do it. Why not? YOLO.
I'm gonna use your logic.
I think it's
Go
a
ahead,
business
Kenny.
deal because you
There
said
you go.
sometimes just when you said
There you
that
go.
that I mean he lays it out here. Bam, 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 bam. This is what it is. I think you would be
I do.
great for this. Here you go. You sign this. Hey, I need to see your sexual
Tasha,
history. Yada yada yada. So I think it's sort of like a transaction.
I do.
Me
And I
personally,
agree with everything you said. I just add to it, to Kenny's point. I think that, look, if we're going to do this, I'm going to guarantee money is not going to be a problem. You will be taken care of, because I think that is what allows it to not get messy per se, is that I think to some extent he is probably saying, this is how much you're going to get. Are you cool with that? And so that, look, you don't have to blow me up in the media. I'm going to do this and do that. And that's in addition to everything you said. So I do think there is some level of, it's a business arrangement. And that's why I said it's the new welfare system. You get to be Nick Cannon's baby mom, live a quality of life that you now can be accustomed to, and we don't have to make trouble for each other.
Why multiple women? Why didn't he just stick with Mariah and just do the surrogacy thing with their egg and multiple different women? Why the different baby mamas? That's what I have a problem with.
Because he's Nick Cannon.
At the end of the
day, he could have whomever he wants. That's kind of the way
that's how I was going to answer it. I've said this 1,000 times before. As men, we're about as faithful as our options. So
fuck consistency. We're just throwing that out.
I'm just telling you, not everybody is as moral as they should be, because I would sit here and lie and tell you that being a lead with who I am now, my options are my options. But the moment I hit that Mega Millions jackpot, I plan on winning. The moment I win and all of a sudden my net worth goes from what it is now to $35 million, $70 million, my options are going to exponentially increase. And that changes the game, Tasha.
So are you going to be out here single-handedly trying to repopulate the earth?
Woo! Me personally, no, because I don't want children like that. But I'm saying if I am already, if the mindset is already there that I do want to procreate, and now I can do it with in the choices of increase, that's going to make a difference,
So I have a question then for the men. What makes you so great that the world needs more of your seed? What makes you so great?
Hey, that's and Black said it. That's that narcissistic personality.
Right,
I have no idea about that. But to go back to what Black said, I would be petty. I would have a vasectomy and would never tell these women I had one. So they would think they were gonna get pregnant by me and be like, I ain't got pregnant yet. Nah, baby. Your boy done got snip. So you ass out.
There you go.
No pun intended.
So Tasha, it makes a difference, and money and power in this case makes a difference, So Jenny said, good question, Tasha. So we appreciate you, Jenny. Thanks for joining. Fantastic question. But we're gonna move on to the next subject, because I don't know if we have the answers, but I hope that we can just say that, hey, money and power and opportunities.
Yep. And then Nick Cannon was a corn. They say he's a cornball, but Nick Cannon has some fine women in his life. So
yes, he has.
If I could be a cornball like Nick Cannon, sign me up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But again, that goes to like the whole thing. Take away the money, is he just still a cornball?
I think
Hey.
probably.
only
I asked you
only the
that.
money.
I asked you that. Would he be a cornball without the money? Still, in your
To me,
opinion?
he's still a cornball with the money.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think he's attractive. I don't like
Okay.
anything about him. So, you know,
Okay.
he's just Nick Cannon. He's all right, you know.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. All
Yeah,
right.
he's too arrogant on top of that. That's
Okay.
why they got his monkey self off that show. He thought he
Well,
was
he's
hard.
back on the show.
Wait,
His
he's
show is
back. He's back now.
He's
He's
back
Yeah,
on the
back
show.
now.
Yeah, but they got him off, so they had to show him that
Mm,
who was boss.
Yeah, that was a whole
Yeah.
nother conversation, but he's back. Tasha, who
Yeah.
we got next?
We got Tokyo Vanity and Lil Duval. Does everybody know who
Tokyo
Tokyo Vanity is?
So educate us who these people are.
Okay, well, Lil Duval, he's a comedian. He
Yeah,
used
I
to
know
have
Lil
a show
Duval.
on MTV or VH1. Now, Tokyo Vanity, I don't know what show she's on. I believe, what is it, like Love and Hip
Love
Hop?
She's
and
on
Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you want to, I think you can share your screen and just Google it and just show a picture of the two people.
Yeah. I know Lil
Okay.
Duval. He made that smash hit with Snoop.
Yeah,
I
he
forgot the
did.
name of the song, but
Smile.
yeah, I know Lil
Yeah.
Duval. Yeah,
I think
Smile.
it's like
Yeah.
Smile. That's what it was.
Okay. So set the
Mhm.
scene for us, Tasha.
So Tokyo Vanity, you know, was tweeting like most people do, just on different topics, those popular topics that are out there currently, and in regards to relationships and the financial part of relationships. So she tweeted out, "Can we normalize dating people within your budget? Stop getting mad because a person want to date a person with the same financial freedom as them. No one wants a one-sided relationship. Women with money still want to feel taken care of. Men with money likes gifts too. Like, who wants to feel like a sugar daddy or a sugar mama? Who wants to always give and never receive? Who wants to minimize their lifestyle and go without or cover the whole thing themselves every time for the sake of not offending the other person they're dealing with because they can never afford anything?"
Mm.
That's her take on it, which, you know, that's a lot to unpack there. So to that, Lil Duval does what he does. He likes to troll people on the internet. And so he tweeted back, like, if men only dated within their financial range, we wouldn't have much to choose from. And he left it at that. So that created a whole back and forth on, not between those two, but on Twitter and on Instagram, with people commenting their own personal opinion. What do y'all think? Should men and women date within their tax bracket, or should they do they exclusively do that? Should they exclusively do that? What are our thoughts on that?
Woo, that's a tough one.
Well, I say the girl Tokyo, or whatever her name is, I say it's nothing wrong with her thinking that you know, she want to date somebody in her own financial range with her. There's nothing wrong with that. But she got to remember, like, everybody don't have it like that. I don't have a problem with paying for a date or something like that. But I feel like, you know, I'm old school, so I'm used to a man pretty much, you know, taking me out on a date or something like that. But I get that this younger generation, they do things differently. Now the guy talking about if that was the case, then there wouldn't be nobody to pick from. Pretty much, he have his nerve, because most women got more than men these days. If that's the case, and he got some nerve to be thinking like that, because a lot of women out here, even if they have money, that don't mean you want them. You know what I'm saying? It's more to life than just thinking that a person got money. You can finance yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have your own nice things or whatever. I'm gonna pick and choose. If I was dating at this time, I'm gonna pick and choose who I like and who I want, whether they got money or not. But I wouldn't want no broke nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, type thing. You ain't gonna be doing that, but I'm gonna know all that when I'm dating you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it.
What you say, Kenny?
I think I can agree with what Tokyo said. I get what she's saying. More so than Lil Duval, because like Sherry just said, it's women out here that's making more money than a lot of us men. So I don't think that's the case for I kind of disagree with Lil Duval. But my whole thing talking about this finances, man, we're in such a chase the bag society now. Everybody's like, I gotta get the bag, you gotta get this, I gotta get that. And instead of trying to meet a person and get to know them, I understand finances is part of a relationship. I get that. But sometimes when you're so focused on that part, you could totally miss somebody that would be cool with you. And then y'all could come together and build together and be Jay and Beyonce. Nobody wants to build together no more. They want to, you got to have this or you got to have that. So I do get what Tokyo's saying, though. I think you probably do have to kind of think like that, but it's sad that we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tasha, I was trying to Google a picture of Lil Duval and then together I couldn't find anything, but I'm assuming people know who Lil Duval is.
He's a little short. He's a little short dude,
right?
About
Little short
5'3".
comedian guy.
Yeah.
You know, had
With a big head. Yeah.
kind of a semi-hit record a couple of years ago with Snoop Dogg. And I really like the song. I can't think of the title of it right now.
It's a Smile.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think it's called Living My Best Life. Living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you,
niggas.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
I mean,
And
a seminal hit, so I really enjoyed it. But I want to show a picture of her really quickly, so we have an idea of who we're talking about, at least. So I'm hoping you guys can kind of see my screen. Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can also hear each other, correct?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So, and I wanted to put this picture up as we give our opinions on this, so that, for me, in my opinion, let me be clear. Now, for the record, let me state this off the top. I admire her on a couple of levels. One of my guilty pleasures used to be Love and Hip Hop. I stopped watching it for the last couple of years because it's just got too scripted for me. But I did watch it when she primarily came on. For the record, in case the audience don't know, she's 23 years old. It doesn't actually give her net worth or anything like that. But as a follower of the show, you kind of have an idea what they make salary-wise. Right here in Atlanta. She's highly, what's the word I'm looking for? Even though she's a bigger girl, pretty face, she's very confident in her looks, her abilities, and for that, I applaud her in this day and age. Just like what's the other girl that's always got her taking her clothes off?
Lizzo. Yeah.
Now she doesn't do that like Lizzo. For most of the time I've seen her, for the most part, she dresses, relatively appropriately, stylish for a big girl. So I can't take any of that away from her. Having said that now, and what you said, I kind of agree with what you said, Kenny, in a sense, and the point you was making about where we've come to in terms of how we look at relationships. That I like your point, Kenny, that you said it's about the bag, and I'm going to a place with this, and I want you to see that, because I think her saying that and part of her confidence is based on the fact that for her, she is on TV, got a little bit of fame. She's a real what's the word? I'm losing my brain here. Reality fame, without it really having done anything. And she's only 23 years old, and she is making a little bit of money. So I think there's a little bit of hypocrisy here, that for her saying that, because would she be saying that if a fat ass was just working, at JCPenney's?
Nope.
And she didn't have the quality weave that she have and the nails. Because when I say fat, people don't get mad with me, because I'm a fat bastard, my damn self, and I'm confident in my own self as well. But having said that, I think there's a little bit of hypocrisy here, that you're talking about dating somebody, at that level bag, because you make a little money and you can eat at the better restaurants. But would you be saying that again if you was working at JCPenney's and all of a sudden the guys looked at you and that weave is not as tight as it is, that fashion is not as tight as it is, and basically your fat ass can only squeeze in clothes that you can get from Lane Bryant, and now they want to take you to Burger King? Would you be saying that? That's the question I'm raising.
And you brought a valid point, and I totally agree with everything you just said, Black. Like you said, when your income changed, your mentality changed too. So yeah, she's 23, she getting a little bag, so yeah, she can probably got a little room to say,
Thank you.
Date in your income lane. But I bet you 3 years ago she was dating a dude on fries at McDonald's.
That's right.
Look at the guy. I purposely pulled up.
It wouldn't have a
Thank
problem
you.
with it.
Thank you. And out of all the pictures I could pull out, and I had them up. This is why I even chose this picture, because look, I mean, you know, so this goes to her age range, what she likes, and things like that. So I'm gonna cut her a little bit of slack in a sense. She's 23. She's got reality fame, and she's talking out of the side of her neck from having that little bit of experience. But I'll tell you this, you know, you better save your money while your fat ass out there eating the best of foods and splurging. Money runs out. And when you have to move from Buckhead back down to Riverdale or Union City, you won't be saying that. Tosh, I'm sorry. You had anything to add?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is this whole notion, this whole superficial, shallow conversation, this topic of finances and relationship is exhausting and has been exhausted at this point. Let's just stop talking about it. We can't dictate over generalize what works for some people's relationships. If you don't want to date down, then by all means don't date down, but don't be upset when you realize that your pool of dateable people is not as open and free as others, because those statistics that we have evaluated over and over again, let's go here. If she chooses to only date Black men of a certain income, your pool is very small.
Absolutely.
That's true.
So if you want to live and you are allowed to feel and want to live a certain type of lifestyle, but please understand what those ramifications are and what that really means.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right.
I love it. Beautiful point.
And even for men, we know usually men date down. There's nothing wrong with that. Men are quick to, boss a woman up, so to speak, bring them up to a certain lifestyle because that's the type of woman that they want. And to Kenny's point earlier, when we're in this whole hustle mentality, this whole hustle culture, which is why a lot of people are not in successful relationships.
Very true.
Because that's all that they're saying.
Very true. Yep. So I got a question for the panel. All four of us on here, we have relative financial security. We all have roofs over our heads. We've had and lost and been there, done that. Would you date somebody at this stage of your life? And I know this is a tricky question for you, Sherry, but so I want you to answer it existentially. But would you date somebody at where you're at right now, where their income, you said about men, is significantly lower? How much does that matter for you?
Yeah, I would date a guy if their income is lower, because I can show him how to, build himself up. I would, I don't have a problem with a guy and showing him different stuff that you can get into once I get to know what he, type of stuff he know how to do. I don't have a problem with that. No, I'm not that kind of person. I don't like the snubby, snuck up nose type person. But you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to help me out, little things. But we could work it out together. Yeah.
Okay. What about you? What about you, Tasha?
For me, yeah, I'm all about you can build with someone. I think it's unrealistic to think that someone is going to bring everything to the table and already be a complete person, in those things. If that person is helping themselves, trying to do the right thing, maybe they just need someone to guide them and push them a little bit more. Maybe they just need that extra support. I'm not going to date someone who's just sitting in their mom's basement or sitting at their mom or their grandmother's house, not doing anything, with no job, no ambition. But if you are trying to do the right thing, you have to work like a couple of jobs. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we can do this because we know it's not forever.
Okay. What you say, Brother Kenny?
I agree with both Tasha and Sherry. I mean, personally, like I said, men, I think we look at that a little bit differently. I think most men, we've always somewhat dated maybe women that may not make as much as we do. But me personally, I'd never put a lot of stock on that. My whole thing is about if you got a goals and ambitions and dreams, man, I can work with that. I can work with you if we can hustle together. Man, what man don't want a woman that'll hustle with him? At least that's what I would want. That's what I want at this point in my life. So I could care less how much money she makes, as long as she got the drive, ambition, and the hustle mentality it's all good.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And I'll round out in agreement, and I've changed somewhat in my thinking in this, believe it or not. Of course, I've dated women down. I've even relished in the fact that I had the upper hand. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then I went through a period where I did want to have somebody that had a lot more than me or whatever. And then I've got to this place now. That's why I asked it that way. I'm at a place right now where my quality of life is most important to me. So long as the baggage, and we all have baggage in my opinion, does not impede my quality of life and the direction I'm trying to go in, the income is not as important to me at this stage of my life. Now, where you said, Tasha, about not dating a guy that's sitting in the basement, no ambition, this and that, my thing is I would have to look at some realisms. So if there's a woman with multiple kids, little kids, and that income, those are factors I have to realistically consider. Because if I met somebody and she's got 2 or 3 kids and they're all under the age of 10, let's say 12 years old, and she's making $35,000 a year, then I have to realistically put that into, well, how is that going to affect not just mine, but our quality of life? Because now you put her salary with mine, but then it's not going to be about us. It's going to be about those kids that are under 10, 12 years old and what they need. And the question then for me becomes, am I going to still be able to have the quality of life that I've attained to? I've hit a stage where I like to eat certain things and go certain places without worrying about certain things, even something as simple as time, those are factors. So that's for me where it's at, that I need the ambition and drive, and I'm okay with the income, but I have to look at some realistic factors as well that could impact my quality of life, and not just mine, because where I was completely selfish my entire dating life, I was the most selfish person you ever wanted to meet. I am not that anymore. I do think now in terms of, man, how is this gonna, I may not even be good for these kids in that situation, because I've outgrown that stage of patience and whatnot. So maybe I'm not the best person for her. So I'm way less selfish than I ever used to be, in that sense. And I'm proud of that I've got to that point. So, but to this conversation, I like that we're talking about it. So for Lil Duval and Tokyo Vanity, I get it. She's young. And as you said, Tasha and Kenny, we're in this hustle culture where everybody talks about the bag. But I'm gonna leave it here for me. And unless anybody else got any more to say about it, you're welcome. The same way beauty fades, over time, materialism and that hustle, that fades as well. Because when that's taken away, and all that's, and you stand in front of that person and just you in the 4 walls, that's what's really going to be important.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what's going to stand the test of time. That foundation that you built as a couple. But yeah, it's tough, man, out here in these streets, man. Just listen to that. And you hear this stuff all the time about stay in your lane. If you're on social media like I am, well, you need to date in your lane, stay this and that, stay this and that. So I think most of us now that's single, we kind of like, what do I do? You trying like, damn, I can't, damn, what to do? So then you just kind of sit back and sit on the sideline,
Yes, sir.
It's funny, man.
Yes, sir. So whatever my little short viewership and listen out there, this is from a single eligible guy. I am as well. That's where it's led us to. We're on the sidelines trying to figure this thing out and not fully in the game right now. And so we may be part of that decent guy out there that you're overlooking because your mentality is on something that at the end of the day it's going to be fleeting anyway. And there's a whole lot more of us out there. I mean this in all sincerity than you really want to know. There's some good, decent brothers and men out there, white and black and all in between, that do want something real, but just can't cope with this hustle mentality.
Yep,
You know,
I agree.
Tasha, what we got next, sweetheart?
Sherry, you had your hand up. Did you have something else to say?
Oh, I'm sorry, sis.
Oh no. I'm
Okay.
Okay, I thought I saw a finger up too. I thought
Yeah,
she
I
wanted to
thought
say
Okay,
it
I'm
something.
did.
sorry, sis.
It's all right. So I want to move on to the next tweet was from The Game. And we all know who The Game is. He's a rapper, been doing it for a long time. It doesn't say why he tweeted this out, what precipitated it, but he did tweet this out. And it is important because this has been a topic, part of like the relationship topics that has been overexhausted as well. He tweeted out, only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. Let's talk about it.
Repeat, Tasha, repeat that statement again.
Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
Whew. That's why I wanted you to read it twice.
Mm.
Sherry, I see you shaking your head. What you say?
I don't agree with that. First of all, I wouldn't want to. Don't put me in the category where it's a dog. I'm not a dog. I don't like that statement.
Well, hey, Siri, y'all call us dogs all the time, so now
Yes,
you see
sir.
how
I
it
do.
feels.
I hear you, Kitty, but you know what? I don't put them in because I don't want no
Okay.
dogs. So you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that when men are loved unconditional. That's not true. I don't agree with that one.
Mm. Mm.
I'm still thinking, just so you know.
Yeah, if you can see my eyes, I'm trying to think too.
Okay, I got a question for you guys then. Do you guys think that you were ever loved unconditional in your lifetime?
Okay, so we can factor that
That's a good
into it
question
as
too.
well. We can factor that into it. I can say on that level, definitively yes. So I can answer that one easy, Sherry. When I got married, I believe my wife loved me unconditionally, flaws and all, but that was a different time. There was a different time of innocence and what people were looking for. I think, yeah, she married me because at that time I didn't have a whole lot. I did have a house, I did have a job, and I had potential. And I think that's what she married was potential. And I did the same with her. But what's causing me to struggle with answering the question, his tweet is lots have changed, Sherry. A lot have changed. So when he say that, I kind of see his point because let me tell you why. And I'm not answering it completely yet. And hopefully I'm giving Kenny you a little time to think too. But when I think about the hot girl summer mentality and the Black Queen mentality we see on BET and VH1 and how they're preaching about women go get it, I see the point he's trying to make that women, children, and animals, because you objected to the term animal, Sherry, but they do. That's a fact. I think people do love animals unconditionally.
I think that's true. Yeah,
Tasha's an animal lover, and so I do think people love animals. I mean, it's not just dogs and cats. Save the whales, the extinct gorillas, and the bald eagle. People love animals unconditionally. Women, I get where he's going with that in the sense that as long as there are two species on this earth, we're going to love women as men, just for being women, just for being who you are. I think that cannot be taken out of our DNA. Now, children, I agree with that in a sense too, because when you think about how even in media, how ugly it can get, kids typically be off limits, in terms of what we can talk about. The part I'm struggling with is I do think men fall into that category too, because it's way too many women out here with the wrong dudes, with guys that treat them bad, and they love the bottom of this dude's feet. But at the same time, it's countered by this mentality that What are you doing for me? What can you do for me? I don't know. Give me a few more. I'm sorry. I went on a little bit.
Wait.
Kenny and Tasha.
I'm with you. Go ahead, Cherry. Go ahead. I'm
No, I
still
was about
thinking
to say,
though.
wait. It's something we had on the show. You remember when we had on the show before, where you showed the guy sleeping on the mattress, and he was
Right.
saying all the different women was coming in and out, and
Right.
what he done. Okay, he that type of guy has to have been being loved unconditional, because I'm not sleeping on no floor with anybody.
But I want to raise something, Sherry. So does that incident speak to the fact that these women love him unconditionally, or to the fact that so many women out there, number one, are the women outnumber the men? So we're talking about availability, and we're talking about a lot of women who don't know their own self-worth, because those are separate things.
Facts.
Yeah,
That's facts.
it's a lot to unpack with this tweet.
And then you ever start to think,
It's
Tasha, maybe he just haven't been felt like he was loved.
that
That's possible.
that's possible. And sometimes
Come
you
on,
got
Kenny.
to sometimes you got to look at the messenger and who's putting that out there, because that the messenger may have some his own or her own issues with whatever that tweet is. I will say, Black, I'm with you. I agree with some. I can see where he was going with that, but I also think it depends on the what relationships are you talking about, because that's really just a blanket statement.
True.
That tweet
Very true.
it's not being specific about the relationship.
Very true.
Whatever. So it's kind of hard to answer that, but I see where he's going, because I do think that most men will tell you that we don't feel like we are loved unconditionally. A lot of times. That's not always the case for everybody. I think the majority of men would tell you, you know what? I think I'm only loved while I'm on top. But when I hit rock bottom, yeah, you might love me. You might love me for a minute, but I think eventually that love is gonna wane, and you're gonna be like, "Yo, dude, I can't rock with you like that no more." So it's tough, man. But I somewhat agree with that tweet a little bit.
He bring up some good points. Tasha, get in here.
I will say this. Let's say, for the sake of this conversation, we're only going to speak of romantic relationships. We're not talking about like the whole parent and child, because I think for the most part, not in all situations, parents love their children unconditionally because they created them. I believe that for the most part. However, in regards to relationships, if you believe in unconditional love between a man and a woman, because is it not under the condition that you both are choosing to love one another for what the other one does and for what the other one is? Is that not a conditional love? So I guess that's the way I would approach it. Because I agree. I believe for now, for 2021, it is conditional. Women do love men under conditional terms. It's very sad. It's unfortunate. That's just where we are as a society. But I also think that men don't love women unconditionally the same way, just 100% unbiased. I don't. I think it is conditional for 2021.
I love your point. I love your points. And that you framed it in the now. I was at dinner last night with some friends, and we were talking about the movie Soul Food. You guys remember the movie Soul Food? A good old-fashioned black movie. And one of my friends, her husband, he said he was telling a story at the table about how at one of his earlier jobs, the boss called him in and was going to fire him. He looks at the boss and he says, "I can't go home and tell my wife, a black woman, that I don't have a job, and we get ready to head into the holiday season." Now, this was a married man. And to the point of this conversation, in your point, Tasha, it's conditional. Yes, she loves me. Yes, she supports me. And Kenny said it. As long as I'm providing, and I bring the movie reference up because we were talking about the fact that in that movie, that scene came up, Vanessa.
Liam was the character.
Right.
He got fired.
Husband
Yeah.
Right. He was like, he told the men was giving him advice because he was like, I'm gonna go home and tell her. They's like, oh no, no.
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
go tell no black woman that you ain't got no job.
Yeah.
And I thought about that to this conversation that they can love you to death, but you know what? When that woman is getting up in the morning, going to her job, doing her thing, and you sitting on the couch day after day,
Yeah.
after day,
Yeah.
something's gonna happen with that love. I've been out of
Yeah.
work and been
Yeah.
married, and I knew that I had a small window before the love was going to turn a little bit, because while I think women are the most supportive beings on the face of the planet, that first week, baby, it's going to be all right. That second week, hang in there. Week number 3,
Yes.
where have you been looking?
Yep.
When you
That's
get to that month and you're out of work, there's going to be a level of frustration that's going to start kicking in now. So Tasha, it's conditional.
It is conditional.
It is.
I don't think that we as people, as humans, are designed to love another person unless they're doing something for you unconditionally. That's why I said the exception is children, because you created them. For me, it's easy for me to love animals unconditionally. Number one, I don't care for people, but also,
oh damn,
and she's serious too.
I see, like animals just like as creatures, and for what we've done to the earth, a lot of them, as far as like domesticating them and stuff, we've weakened them from what their true initial form was. And so that's why for me, it's easier to show more unconditional love to an animal, because they want to do, my dogs want nothing more than to make me happy, because I'm their whole world. So
right.
That's why, like for me, it's easier.
So I got a question relationship wise to end this little segment on this part. And me and my sister was literally having this conversation today. She was giving some dating advice to a friend of hers, or a younger friend of hers. She's like her mentor. And I was telling her that in 2021, the dating scene has changed. So I got a quick question. It's not an easy question, but I want you to give a quick answer. We're not going to go into detail because we might actually do this as a show. But based on this subject, what conditions should we expect from somebody we're with, to your mind? Since we are, I think, in agreement that it really is conditional in 2021, what simple conditions for you would you expect from that person, since we know it's conditional? What's your level of conditions you expect to be acceptable? And anybody, just not long detail, because I might want to do a show on this.
Is that just like in a dating phase, or
right, in a romantic sense? Right. So what would be the conditions that for you that you're looking for? Because I was telling my sister, instead of chastising a young girl, you have to make her understand there are questions and expectations she needs to ask for, because we're in a different realm now.
Personally, two, it's probably really two for me. Number one, don't waste my time. And I'm not gonna waste yours. And two, if you're not interested early on, let me know that right off the top. Don't drag it out again. And that goes back to number one, don't waste my time. So hey, don't waste my time. Two, if you're interested, show it. If you're not, tell me straight up off the top. Then we can separate and go our special ways and be friends, whatever.
I love it. I love it. Tasha or Sherry, what are your conditions?
For me, my conditions are loyalty, honesty, protection, and respect. Those are my conditions, and support. Those are my conditions. That's what I want.
I like that, and we might revisit this because I know we could go deeper. Sherry, what are your conditions?
I'm with Tasha, like loyalty, but I gotta know that you financially got something going on. I want to know if you got any wives, girlfriends, baby mamas. I don't like drama, and you have kids. And at my present age, I'm 52. I don't really want to be dating nobody with no little kids or no baby mama drama, because I do slide females down with no problem. I will tase their ass or whatever. That type of stuff. Keep it away from me. And you know what? I hate a liar.
Okay. Jenny says respect and honesty. She kept it real simple. Jenny, I'm like you. For me, mine is real simple, but it's on the verge of what Kenny said. For me, be done with the games and be honest. Be done with the games and be honest, because I'm at a point in my life where, long as you ain't playing no games, I pretty much can handle whatever else you got going on and be honest about it, because guess what? I might be with it. I might be down with it. So, but the whole game thing, it's an insult to my intelligence. I worked too hard to get to this point to play games. So that's for me. And Terrence, I want to acknowledge your point, because I think this could be more to talk about. Terrence says the game tweet applies heavily to Black men. We get thrown to the wolves often. We are on the bottom of society's totem pole. So that, Terrence, that is a very incendiary statement right there, because I promise you, my brother, and thank you for tuning in and commenting. I wish we had some women on here, more women on it, because they would tell you they feel the opposite.
The opposite, yeah.
They feel the exact opposite, that they feel, and I'll tell you this, Terrence, society would disagree with you. They will say that the Black woman is on the lowest level of the totem pole in terms of respect, jobs, opportunities, all of those things. And I got members of this show that will fight that comment tooth and nail, my brother.
Boy, if they was on this show, Terrence, man, hey, they would have had your head, brother. I'm just gonna go on. If you a brother, a white brother, whatever, they would have you, bro.
No, Terrence is Black.
Okay,
Terrence, they would have a lot to say on that right there.
Yeah, come back on Wednesday. Come back on Wednesday, Terrence.
Terrence, come on back, my brother. And more than that, come on camera. We need you on camera, my brother.
Shameless plug, but that's what we do.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Terrence, come on camera. But to your point, I'm gonna leave it here. There are enough men too. There are enough Black men too that do feel that we kind of get dragged. And here's the crazy part. They feel we get dragged by Black women. That's why I said this is a subject that we could.
That's a whole show right there.
That's a show. That's a show.
There you go.
Thank you, Terrence, because that one's going to be filed in the hopper. That might be a show, my brother. So I'm going to want you on that show, just so you know. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Tasha, what you got for us next?
We got the Khloe Kardashian, Lamar Odom versus Tristan Thompson going on. So
two Black men fighting over a white woman. Good Lord. Where have we gone? Anyway, my bad.
Armenian. It's different. It's different. They're Armenian.
So say it again. Khloe Kardashian.
Tomato is what I say.
Kardashian, Lamar Odom versus Tristan Thompson. They're fighting over Khloe. So a few days ago, Lamar did an interview with I forgot who it was, but they sat down and they were asking him basically if he ever wanted to get back with Khloe and the nature of that relationship. And he admitted that he would like to get back with her. So fast forward a few days later, Khloe posts a picture, snapshot of herself in a bikini on Instagram, as they do. And Lamar tweeted, just some emojis and everything, telling her she was looking nice. Tristan felt it necessary to tweet back to Lamar. Well, no, excuse me. It wasn't a tweet. This was an Instagram. He sent back, he said, God brought you back the first time. Play if you want different results. My whole thing with this, with this, I have a problem because Khloe forgave one indiscretion over the other, by getting back with Tristan.
Right.
Why was it that him cheating on her with a family friend why was that forgivable? And Lamar, the battling addiction, why was that unforgivable? Why couldn't you ever go back there with Lamar? And also, just Tristan, was that even necessary? Like, why would you even say something like that? You know, like
Okay.
addiction is serious. So that's what my thought process was like when I
Okay.
saw this.
There's a lot of this for me, but I ain't gonna go next. Anybody next? There's a lot of this for me.
First of all, let me say, Tristan Thompson, you don't want that smoke, son. You from Canada, and got dog and Lamar from New York. So stop with the little subliminal whatever, because you do not want that smoke. All right. Second of all, I'm like, come on, guys, y'all too grown for this. I mean, what? I put the blame on Tristan on this. I mean, to me, Lamar, whatever he said, I think that sounded respectable to me. I don't think he's being disrespectful. And from what I know is Tristan and Chloe aren't together anyway. Is that correct? Aren't
No,
they?
they are. She took him back. They're
So they back together now.
Yeah.
Come on, Tristan, bro. You got it, man. You acting like a little dude. It really wasn't that serious. But at the end of the day, this social media reality show, these doggone Kardashians, I don't know what they put on these brothers, but they run these brothers crazy. I don't get it. And then on Lamar's tip, I can see maybe he want to get back because I know Lamar's having some financial issues right now, and that's gonna keep it funky. Those Kardashians, they got that long paper, so
yes, sir.
Maybe that's why Lamar is really trying to throw these little sneaky little compliments under her pictures to see if he kind of sneak his way back in them DMs. So I don't know, but anyway, brothers, y'all stop it. Y'all, that's high schoolish. Stop it. Get off social media doing that crap. Anyway, that's my take.
Sherry, what you say?
You know, I really don't like the Kardashians too much anyway. Whatever. I think they're a bunch of stuck-up bitches. Whatever that freak off. And Lamar Odom or whatever the fuck his name is, I don't see the way he said nothing out of line to her. The other guy, he needs to grow up, like Kenny said. They're too old for that type of shit. And she's still the guy Tristan got to realize she obviously don't have no problem entertaining what Odom is saying. So she still got a like there for him, and he was a crackhead or whatever the case may be, and she still was with him. She needs to stop playing games. Fuck it, just fuck with both of them because they freaks like that anyway. Tristan, just get with the program, whatever.
Okay, do me a favor, sis. We definitely can't curse this early on a Sunday.
Oh, okay,
She's taking this on night shows.
I'm sorry.
You all right? You all right?
Lord,
We refrain it. We gonna keep the real curses.
And then for Black to tell somebody not to curse, you know it must be something wrong.
Exactly. But I realized it's Sunday and it's early. Like Sherry's in night mode on this joint. Oh my God. So Tasha, let me start with a couple questions you asked about favoring one indiscretion over the other. I'm going to cut us some slack on two levels here. Number one, I'm gonna say, well, maybe she's older and how she handled things maybe a little bit different now than before. Also, second, there's a kid involved. There's a kid involved. And so for those two reasons, once you put a baby in the mix, we all know that forgiving indiscretions takes on a whole different ballgame because now there's a baby. You know, now there's a kid.
I disagree, but go ahead.
You know, but right, I got you. But I think that so many guys get away with indiscretions because they know there's a baby involved. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what is played upon. Now, this whole scenario, like you, Kenny, this beefing up over social media, bruh. You won't say that to this man's face to face. You know, Lamar Odom is from the streets. Yes. You know what I'm saying? He get down a whole different way. And I'm not saying you might, I don't know, but I'm just saying it's easy to sit behind social media and play tough guy, and that you felt compelled to come to her aid just because he liked her in the bikini. You know what I like in this too? And I've talked about this in times before. When you're out with your woman and y'all walk out the house and she has on an outfit that you know others are going to find attractive. to Dave Chappelle's point, titties popping out the top of a turtleneck, the cutouts where you can see her drawers if she got on any. It's so short that even she crossed her legs, you can still see her birth canal. Come on, guys.
Right. Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah.
She went on social media and posted what they call thirst trap.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that an ex commented on it. You're upset behind that? Look, for me, there's a certain level of arrogance that I'm going to feel that for an ex, I can say certain things. I might even feel like I can still get the snatch. That's just
Mhm.
built
Mhm.
inside
Yeah,
of me.
that's true. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And whether I'm right or wrong, but there's a level of arrogance that I feel like if it's an ex, especially if I did my job and I was handling my business,
Yeah.
I feel like I can kind of always get in a little bit. So you as her new guy, you got to take. He didn't say anything ultra disrespectful. He just liked what he saw. You're taking this way too far in the social media age, and it was so unnecessary. And again, like you said, Kenny, you guys are fighting over. Stop it, guys.
It's cornball. That's cornball mentality, man. Just stop it. Stop.
It really is really. Which brings me to my question on relationships. Based on this scenario, how much contact do you think is proper for an ex to comment on things you post on social media? It's social media, and so once you put it out there, if an ex comments on there, where do you stand on that? On them comment on yours or on his ex or whatever? Where do you stand on this whole social media thing when it comes to exes?
Well, my thing is this. I mean, if it's an ex and y'all follow each other, you accept their requests or whatever it means, y'all following each other, then it's all free game. If you don't want to see your ex's stuff, don't follow them. It's pretty much that simple as that. So,
Yeah.
but if you both agree to follow each other, then it's free game to whatever your ex posts. And whoever your new person is, they got to stop getting in their feelings. It is what it is.
Okay. Sherry, you were saying?
Kenny is right. I mean, if you accept their requests and different stuff, and you obviously don't mind them commenting because that's what it's for. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, as far as an ex for me is an ex. You X them out. You don't have them in your social media, so they won't even be able to comment. So for the simple fact, like you said, Kenny, he could have responded. Her new man, he got to just handle that unless he should tell her she should unfriend him or whatever. You understand? But it's kind of petty because he didn't say nothing really out of line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what you say, Tasha?
Like for me, I would never know. Like if I'm dating someone, I would never know if they follow their ex. I'm not a big social media person. I would never know what you're commenting and stuff like that. I just wouldn't know. I mean, that's a conversation that you should have, person to person. But for this conversation, Tristan needs to be ashamed of himself and the hypocrisy and all of that, because you're mad because her ex told her that she looked good, but you was sticking your tongue down the sister's friend's throat. So I mean, I don't understand. And then cheating with someone else. So that's just hypocritical. So you're mad because someone complimented her. That's it. That it's not even that. It's not that serious. Nothing is ever that serious. It's the Kardashians. You know what they are. You know who they are. You know how they make their money.
They built their brand.
Yeah, Lamar. He of course to me is like Ray J in this sense. Like you hit it first. Like you knew her when she had all her original parts. Like, that's not even the same woman anymore. So you can be mad, but to attack, that man's addiction and his skeletons, Lamar could have taken it further if he really, really wanted to.
Absolutely.
He could have escalated it a lot further, but he didn't. So, if that's where we're living now, where where you got to thug it out on social media, then that shows what type of man that you are, that you're gonna beef with another man on social media. And why are you watching your girl's Instagram or whatever that closely anyway?
I agree with you, Tasha. I think if it wouldn't have been Lamar, Tristan wouldn't have had anything to say.
Good point.
Talking, if
Good
it had
point.
been any other
Good point.
dude, he probably
Good
wouldn't
point.
even tripped on it. But it was
Good
Lamar,
point.
and that was her ex-husband, so he was in his feelings. Let me ask you guys this real quick: do you all follow your exes on social media? Are y'all friends? Are y'all?
I do. I do.
I don't really follow anybody on social media.
I do.
I already know you ain't no bitch.
Yeah,
I
she
just was
doesn't.
wondering.
She doesn't,
Okay.
but I do. What about you, Kenny?
Actually, my ex and I aren't. I mean, we cool, but we're not friends on social media. But she's still friends with all of my family members because my
Okay.
family
Okay.
still love her. So I can see her post stuff on my other family members' stuff. But no, we
Okay.
don't. We just don't. But we cool though.
I am. Ironically, I am. I've been very lucky and fortunate, or whatever you want to call it, in the sense that I've had a great relationship with my exes. In my life, there's literally only one ex that we ever parted where it was mean spirited and broke off for that blah 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 blah. I've been very fortunate to maintain those relationships for the most part, and even I have in my friends list some exes now. We don't talk all the time or whatever, but some of them follow the show. Special occasions they might reach out. If I see a life event for them, one of my exes, her daughter graduated and starting college, I was all over it. Hey, you did a good job, blah 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 blah. But again, I keep it respectful. So for me, that's not a problem for me. So, but Tasha,
would you be petty? Would you be petty like Lamar Odom?
No, because that's the thing.
I ain't gonna leave front. I probably would do something petty like that.
Damn.
I probably would.
Damn.
Because I just like to do funny little stuff. So I will do something petty like that.
I got you.
I
got you.
Go ahead, Tasha.
Yeah, so my question is it a difference in following them on social media and versus still talking to them on the phone? Like, is it one worse than the other? Like, is it just a flat out no? Like, you shouldn't even be talking to them on the phone? Like, you definitely can't talk to them. I don't care if you follow them on social media, but don't talk to them on the phone.
For me, it's not a flat out no, but it is a difference. It's definitely a difference.
I agree.
How I view it. I view social media for what it is. It's a place where people, me and Sherry was just having this conversation as well today too, how in this day and age, people put their whole lives on there. I'm not one of those to do that. My viewers who know Lee Black, I'm an opinionated SOB on various topics, but you don't know my life. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, unless you're cool with me, you don't know what I drive. You don't know how much I make. You don't know when I've done this. So you don't know those intimate personal things, and I would never put that out there. When I take a vacation, if I do post a picture, it's after I've returned. I don't want people to know when I'm gone. I don't post before I'm going headed to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to know my business like that.
Right.
So to your point, Tasha, I view social media as this gaping hole of everybody's business. So whatever you put on there, I think is free game. Now, talking to them outside of social media, that there has to be a reason for me. If my woman has contact, there has to be a reason. Was the relationship so deep that, to Kenny's point, bonds were made with you and the family so that you're going to be there whether I like it or not? Do you share a child together? You know what I'm saying? Was this you guys lifelong friends or something? There has to be a reason. But in terms of I just like talking to him, girl, you better put that damn phone down before you get yourself hurt. So
you can do it. That ain't fair.
There better be a reason for me. I don't know what y'all say.
Oh man.
For you, Tasha, because you don't do social media. So it's a twofold question for you.
Right.
What if you found out, since you don't do social, you say you would never know, but what if he admitted, babe, what you doing? Oh, I'm just my ex. She's on a cruise, and I'm just commenting on the pictures. Would that bother you? And then for you, contact outside of social media. What are you saying?
On social media, like I said, I would never know. You know,
No,
like
no. What if he told you that
Oh,
he had been? Are you okay with that?
commenting on social media.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, like, what? Oh, okay, that who the fuck cares? Like for me, like who
Okay.
cares?
Okay.
So, but like as far as like contact, I guess it would be like the conversation. Like what was the extent of the conversation that you're having? Like what are you discussing? If it is something where y'all were like lifelong friends or y'all were together for like a long time, maybe they're calling to ask for your advice. I would kind of understand that. I would
Okay.
kind of understand that because I've had exes do that with me. They will come to me and discuss their relationships that they're in.
Right.
But I would only ask, don't discuss our relationship with that person if it is that you just have to remain in contact with that person.
Okay.
But if it is just I wouldn't have a problem with it if the person just popped in like every now and then. Like if you talk to them on the phone like every now and then, like once a year or something.
Okay.
Like big deal.
Kenny,
All right.
No, just me. If it was me and for my man or husband or something, kids with his ex, I know he probably would want to deal with her unless they grown. But if you ain't got no kids, for me, you're not gonna be talking to no ex on social media and no other media. I was about to curse, but no other type of media. You feel me? Because conversations lead to other things, and if she your ex, then you shouldn't be talking to her no way. Because what are you trying to get back?
Okay.
Social media definitely wouldn't bother me. If they talking, I mean, if they had a lengthy relationship, whatever, it's all the variables. They had kids together, whatever. But honestly, with you, it probably wouldn't bother me. I probably would just be petty about it. I'd be like, oh, so where y'all going to dinner tonight? Y'all going to yeah.
Don't
Kitty,
Make sure you
I love your honesty, man.
I mean, I'm gonna show you I care, but I'm gonna be paid. I'm like, what that nice dress I bought you, so you see what you look like in that dress I got.
I love it. I
probably do some ish like that, man.
I love it.
Okay, but Kenny, let me ask you a question. Since you said that, so if you find out that they've been talking, you just putting your little petty comments, and you find out that now you done scrolling one day and you see her in that pretty dress you bought her with him, and now she calling you, telling you, "I think I'm gonna go back to him."
But that's a different
dynamic.
And yeah, he's talking about just how he reacts.
I still would trip. I'd be like, okay, hey, you can't keep nobody that don't want to be kept.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Exactly.
So it is
right,
what
that
it
changes
is.
the dynamic. Tasha, what's next for us?
Uh-oh.
Sorry. So I want to talk about Ben and Jen. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez reportedly were looking at getting a home together, buying a home. It was a $65 million mansion. I got a problem. Like, y'all just got back together. This is following the conversation we were just having about exes. You just got back together. You are quickly trying to buy a home and move in together. How quickly should you be doing that when you have children yourself? Like she has teenagers, but how quickly, if it is an ex, is it okay to go back to like blending a family, moving in your family, your kids in with an ex? Is the timeline, can it be escalated and elevated because you already have like a background with that person? Like, why is it easier to always go back to an ex, like if the door isn't fully shut? Like for Ben and Jen, I thought their relationship, their breakup was pretty bad. Why was it so easy for her just to go back to him? And why him? Or do you as men have an ex that the door is never fully shut, that you can always slide back into it, so.
Tasha, you just threw a whole bunch of monkey riches in this scenario. God,
Okay.
And you brought up some valid points. I speak on J-Lo. I just think she just she cannot be by herself. She
Mm-mm.
has to be in a relationship. So there is something about that she will go. She just feel like she has to jump in and be with somebody. I never understood that Ben Affleck and her I never understood that relationship from the jump. And then for her to jump right back into it so quickly after the A-Rod thing, like I said, I think they were messing around once she was with A-Rod. Be honest with you, I think they were still talking on the phone, exes, following each other on social media, in each other DMs. It was some stuff going on before that whole A-Rod J-Lo stuff ended.
Mhm.
So I don't see them lasting. I mean, why are you looking for a crib? J-Lo, you got, what kind of example you set for your children? They seeing their mother jumping from relationship. And let's be honest, when kids look at their mother, dads can be jacked up and they can be out there running the streets or whatever. But children really look at their mother when they base that upon their relationship. So you jumping from one guy to the next and this and that, I mean, that's probably affecting your children too. So I don't know, just highly weird, as I said. Just another highly weird relationship.
Well, Kenny, is there an X for you that door is not fully closed, that you can, it's open, like you can peek in if you wanted to at any time?
Damn, Tasha, you gonna really throw me under the bus like that?
No, that's for everybody. Everybody has to answer that question.
Is there one? I think there could be one, possibly. Possibly. There could be one. But nah, I'm not going through that door. I'm like, let's make a deal. You see what's behind door number 3? I already saw what's behind door number 3, so I'm good.
But time.
I know, and it has been a lot of time to pass. But again, I've seen what's behind door number 3. So no, I'm good.
All right. Sherry, what you say?
Well, it's funny, bro, because remember earlier we were just talking about something, and you was telling me in this era right now, this is what they doing. Like I'm shocked. I'm real old school then, because I have a problem with women going from men to men, Kenny, like you said, bringing their kids around a man just like that, and they just knew him a month. I couldn't do it. And especially, Tasha, you said it was a girl. Like you said, what are you teaching your daughter? That basically, it's all good, that you could just hop from man to man. See, that right there, I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I have a daughter, and I don't them type of game.
So take the kids part out of it. What do you think about Jen and Ben? And then is there an X?
I agree with Kenny. She can't be by herself. That's her main problem. And I think she needs to take some steps back and be by herself for a while, but she can find herself instead of keep getting these relationships that ain't gonna last anyway. She gonna be broken up. I don't see it lasting either. And I don't know. That's just what my take on with her.
Okay. And is there an X for you that the door's still open? I know you're married, but
yeah, I'm married and single. Listen.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So
wait a minute. This Sherry just said she's married and single.
She's married and single. So is there an X?
Okay.
So is there an X that the door's still open?
No, I don't want nothing I had. Nope.
Okay. Tasha, you want me to go or you want to go?
Yeah, you go ahead.
So the Ben and Jen thing, Kenny nailed it for me, and I've said that many times. She is one of those women, she can't be alone. I know people like that right now in my personal life, that they cannot be alone. Tasha, we've talked about this many times. Living by yourself and being independent, and Kenny, you can speak to this as well, it's not for everybody. People assume that because you're alone, you must be lonely. And they wonder out loud, you got to have, they try to fix you up, you got to have somebody. Because for some people, they can't fathom simply being alone. And I've said this, for the better part of my life, I'm my own best company. I'm comfortable with it. I'm great with it, no problem. Jennifer Lopez, looking at her dating history, she has to have a man on her arms. It's a part of who she is. Being considered one of the most beautiful women, sexy, all this and that, she can't be alone. Now, when you've done that for the better part of 20-something, 30 years, The idea that she would be broken up and be alone, that's not going to work for her. But I like what you said, Kenny. There had to have been some contact, because you don't have a relationship that's been extinct for years, and all of a sudden, just with the snap of a hat, you just get back together.
Yeah.
There had to continually be some contact all along, which leads me to my point I want to make. I think a lot of women, this is where my chauvinism comes in, are always looking for the next best thing. Where men are looking for the grass is greener, I think women, whether you want to say smartly or sneakily or whatever, they're thinking, you know, what's the next best thing? You know what I'm saying? In a different way.
I get that. Yeah.
You hear it in Beyonce's song, upgrade you and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I think for Jen, I don't think a relationship with AY was never serious, ever in a million years. I think that I think her and Ben really did have something that she thought was special, but for whatever reason it went a certain way, because you know the whole Jen and Ben, they kind of started a lot of that, to be honest. So there clearly was a connection. They clearly like each other. Now, having said that, do I think it's going to work? No, because to your point, Kenny, I'm a firm believer that when you've given the best of yourself to somebody and it didn't work out, I've always asked this question: what are you going to do differently? Now, some people might say that, well, I'm older now and I'm wiser and I'm different now. And that's true. But that person is also older and different as well, because when you break up with somebody, they don't just stop and you keep growing in whatever directions. That person is growing in whatever directions they're going in as well, which leads me to answer your question, Tasha. There was, for a long time, a door that was open. I had to close that door for that reason. For that very reason. As much as I love this person, I came to realize that love and connection was based on who she used to be and who we used to be together. And I realized at some point that although I still love her, I love the person she was from where we left off. And I had to be honest enough and say, well, who I am now and who she's become, I like her, but I don't love her like I did when we was together. So I purposely closed that door to let our lives go on. To be honest with you, that for me was what it was. What you say, McMack?
I would say, like, to this, whenever I read the story and whenever I was thinking about it, I was thinking in terms of, like, for an ex, yeah, the comfort is there, the easiness of it is there. You don't have to go through the normal hoopla of getting to know that person. Like, you do just kind of fall back into that routine. Like, you may have to get to know the new them, but there's a level of comfort there, which, you know, I would still think, but trying to blend two families together, you're doing it very quickly. Like, you still have your children, their personalities, and his children and their personalities. It's just a lot going on. Now, as far as like there being a door open for an ex, not anymore. There were two, but they had kids. If they did not have kids, then yeah, the door would have been the door, the window, the back door, the fireplace.
The chimney, the outhouse, everything.
Everything would have been open, but they had kids. So for me, it's like that is my. I knew you before you had kids. I can't get over that. So that's something that I think that you just, like you broke. But I think for a lot of people, whether or not they want to admit it, I think there's always an ex that can always work their weasel their way back in if they really, really
and
want.
I said that on the previous story, that especially as a man, we have that feeling. But Tasha, you bring a question I want to ask on this for the panel, is that for you, the door, window, the porch, everything got closed once kids came into the picture.
Not one, but two. They both had two kids. So yeah, no, I can't.
So for you, kids was the thing.
Kids was a deal breaker. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
For you, Kenny and Sherry, then what was that thing that made you say, I cannot go back? Is there something that for you as the main reason why I cannot go back? Because Jenny says there that they are X for a reason. She said they're an X for a reason. That's why she don't like going back. She says it's never the same. So what is that thing for you that she's that for you closes the door?
Because you know what, I have been in a relationship where I was going back a couple of times, but nothing was changing. So I realized I must be insane.
Okay. So for you, was that principle of insanity?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. I like it. I like it, sis.
Yeah.
What is it for you, Kenny?
I think Sherry hit it on. I ain't gonna say I was insane, but Sherry kind of went where I was going. The one person in particular, and she was actually my first love, man. I mean, I lost my virginity with her, but just the ideal of her she apologized to me, but her dishonesty from some things that happened earlier, I got over it, but that's still in the back of my mind. So
right.
that would always be in the back of my mind. And so I was like, no, we cool. We can be good friends, but trying to rekindle something that we had in our 20s. Now that I'm in my early 50s, I'm like, nah, I'm good on that.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Joseph, I appreciate your point, my brother. You said it depends on why you broke up.
Yeah.
When I split from my wife, my actual wife, I thought we would actually get back together. To your point, Tasha, when I found out she had a child, that ended that for me. So I truly get that because now there was a child that wasn't mine. And so at that time, I was in my 30s. My ego would not allow me to get back with her, knowing that I would have to look at a child that wasn't ours. And I'm just being honest, being completely, blatantly honest. That's really what it was. Now, later on, the person that I ended the thing was, to your point, Kenny, her character. For me, when I realized she took my friendship for granted, that was the thing. I did not I wrote an article called The Five-Headed Man, where it talked about how sometimes women use men as interchangeable parts. And one of those parts is break open in case of emergency. I was that guy for her. I realized that she could go out and pin her legs clean back behind her ear. I mean, basketball players, football players, they're getting all that goody good that I wasn't even getting. And I taught this nasty bitch how to screw. Now she's giving it to him better than she was giving it to me. But she still was looking at me like, I know he always gonna be there.
Yeah.
And once I realized,
I can feel
that was offensive to me, that I can go away and get in these relationships, and when they inevitably go wrong, I know that he's still there because he loves me unconditionally. And for a long time, I did, and I still would have opened that door until that moment for me where no. So there it is. Tasha, what you got for us next?
The last thing that I have, I want to talk about, because we don't really discuss it a lot, but is, like domestic violence and when women are the aggressors. And that is bringing forth the Dwayne Haskins situation, with his wife. And, they got into it. She knocked out one of his teeth. And, and the comments behind it on social media where women in support of his wife saying that, oh, he got what he deserved. Good for him. Also, Erica, Mina, and Safari is trying to get the judge to basically, make her pay, trying to sue her for destroying his property after they broke up. Like, she destroyed clothing, motorcycles, a lot of his personal property. And in that way, and a lot of people don't think about it in that terms, but that's also like a form of domestic violence, like you're tearing up somebody's stuff because you can't control your emotions. So you're acting out on their stuff in place of them. And we don't really talk about it because a lot of times people don't think that and don't really view it the same when it's the woman being the aggressor. And I think it's something that we definitely need to discuss.
I agree with you, Tasha. It's a double standard. And when this Dwayne Haskins story came out, this actually happened July 3rd in Vegas. He and his wife they were in Vegas to attend a wedding of one of their friends. Long story short, they separated in two different groups. Dwayne decided to go with his group, his wife with another group. Well, she got mad because he didn't consult with her before he decided to go with the other group. She became violent. That happened. He called security. Dwayne Haskins and said, I want her out of my room. This is according to reports. It's not hearsay. This is according to reports. Loosened his tooth, busted lip, this and that. Fast forward now, like a couple of days ago, Dwayne Haskins said that the stories that's being reported are overblown. And I said that to say this. A lot of time, most times with men are the victims of domestic violence, we don't want to talk about it. We're gonna cover for that woman because as a man, you're gonna look. Most people gonna shame you. Like how you a man gonna let your woman beat on you like that?
Right.
So a lot of times unfortunately that's what you hear from men when this happens. And I totally agree with you, Tasha. I think there's a double standard. I think and his wife says she don't even remember hitting him, according to the report. She told the police, I don't even remember hitting him. But this stuff goes on more than a lot of people know about it, but it's not reported a lot because most men aren't going to report that.
Absolutely. Sherry?
Let me ask you this, Tasha. Did she go to jail?
Yeah, she was arrested, but they let her out.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like if it was the other way around. It's not like it was like a Chris Brown situation. It's not like that. It appeared in the headlines and then it went away.
Right.
So
yeah.
Well, I agree with everything that Kenny, what you said about that. And Safari and
and that Safari and Erica Mena, that situation. Women do that all the time. The average Joe, you can ask the average man that's probably been. It's never happened to me. I've never been in a real type of relationship like
me
that.
neither.
So I have no experience with that, but I know friends that's been involved with women that has torn their stuff up, burned their clothes, this and that, and whatever, and they just chalk it up as, oh well, it is what it is, and then. Society. Then when it's reported, women, it's looked at differently. Women they'll speak up and say, well, he deserved it. He was probably cheating. Or no telling what he done, but they don't look at the actual incident. It always falls back on, well, the man was probably wrong, and she deserves. She gets the leeway to do that type of stuff and act that type of way. So
I think it's real stupid, Kenny. You right? But it's stupid for you to even be going through all of that. You understand? Because doing something like that to a person, let them get their clothes or whatever the case may be. If a person, like you said, if a man don't want to be kept, let him go. What are you doing? All of that. You know what I'm saying? I know they got other things going on because they got kids and whatever, and I don't know whether it be happening. But what's the sense in doing all that? You're wasting your time and you're blocking your own blessings.
Yep. And so I agree with you guys. And once again, this is another great Americanism. Level of hypocrisy here in America, because movies, television, magazines, they celebrate when a woman is the aggressor to a certain extent. Jennifer Lopez, the previous subject, she has a movie called Enough. And the premise of the movie, now in this case, the guy really was abusive and stuff. But the point I'm gonna make to this is that when a woman empowers herself, where she takes her power back and beats up the man, even kills him, she's the hero. Waiting to exhale, Angela Bassett, going through the divorce, she, slaps the white woman and sells all his things. You know what I'm saying? And again, they cheered in the theater, Black women's power, and it was years and years ago. That's for. We can go incidents after incidences. Left Eye burnt up the guy's entire home.
Andre Rison. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And to your point, Kenny, this actually happens in real life. It's not just famous people. It's not just rich people. I'm not going to put this person out there, but I have a friend, and I'm talking about a close friend, was in a abusive relationship where the woman was abusing him. And I don't want to tell too much, but discovering that he was being hit and beaten, I didn't know how to process it. I had to get the truth out, first of all, because it's very difficult for a man, to admit, and the woman was smaller than him in stature and all this stuff too. So it wasn't like he was some small guy and she was some towering woman. And I can't even explain why he wouldn't overpower her, because from where I stood, I didn't understand why you just really don't slap her down and defend yourself. But to find out that this wasn't a one-time thing, that this had been happening, that was my first experience with this, and realizing how much of a hidden problem this really is in a lot of homes, and it's disguised because, as you said, Kenny, I think it's very difficult for a guy to stand up and say, I'm being hit and she's the aggressor, and he's wearing the marks of the scars and stuff. And so, yeah, this is happening more and more. That it's happening with people that's in the limelight. This is a football player, and you want to talk about the height of hypocrisy. If he had literally just pushed her down,
man,
his career could be
over. Exactly.
In NFL, that's a career ender. Think about Ray Lewis.
Ray Rice. No, right. Yeah.
Never recovered. Nope. Never recovered from that incident whatsoever. Think about Jay-Z in the elevator with Solange slapping him down. Whatever was said or whatever, but he had to take it. He had to take the slappings and the beatings. So we can sit here now and talk about whether he cheated on Beyonce, blah, blah, blah. And then the sister of all people, not his own wife, slapping him up. But had he literally backhanded her, you think Jay-Z would have the deals he have now?
Nope.
Somebody mentioned Chris Brown. Whatever you think of Chris Brown, from what I've heard and they put the pieces together in their relationship, they had a volatile relationship that she chose to stay in and be in, and in many cases looked like she was the aggressor. And so if you're fighting somebody, they're going to wear some scars and you're going to wear some scars. So there's a hypocrisy here that we don't really truly talk about, not to mention the Erica Mena situation. I don't know how much of that is real and how much of that is staged, because this is awfully coincidental that it's happening right when Love and Hip Hop came back. So with them,
right.
And then if you watch the show, you put together two media whores, two attention whores.
Yeah, it's a script. Yeah, you never know if this is true for not.
She comes from New York, and he started. They love the attention, and so with them, I don't really know with them, because that generates attention for them in general. So I don't know with them, but at the same time, the real part of it is that burning up somebody's clothes and stuff. Again, if the shoe was on the other foot, she would have all of the sympathy, and whether it's scripted or not, he gets none.
Right.
She just burnt up his shit, and so what?
Yeah.
So yeah, Tasha.
No, we have got to start calling out toxic behavior, no matter who it is, man or woman. Even if it is, even if you feel like it may be deserved. I thought you were going to be talking about another friend and the things that, of how they express themselves, of breaking everything in the house during fights, throwing things at each other.
Woo! I didn't go there. I didn't go there.
I thought that's what you're going to be talking about.
So go there. So, we're not going to say no names, but go there.
No. We knew someone and have witnessed those fights, those knockdown, drag out fights, to where you're so frustrated, or the terms that they like to use now, they like to black out, and I didn't know what I was doing, but you break every dish in the house, you cut up their clothes, you go to their vehicle, you slash their tires. You can't tell me that you're blacking out and you don't know that. and you're doing this in front of not just that person. It's not just you and that person. You're doing it in front of your children or any other person that is in the house at that time, and just allowing it to just escalate. But then also staying after everything is said and done because, oh, I was just having a psychotic episode. It's toxic. It's toxic. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I agree. So I got a question.
But
Go ahead, Kenny.
women get that window of that toxicity though. They get when especially when law enforcement comes into play, they get that. And back to the Dwayne Haskins, I totally understood why he knew he couldn't do anything, because if he would have laid a hand, whatever he would have done with the NFL policy on domestic violence, that would have came into play regardless of what happened legally, whatever with the legal system, doesn't matter. He would have been suspended without pay. And he's trying to get his career back on track. So he just had to take it, you know. And just the average everyday man, a lot of times you just got to take it as well. So it's crazy.
Like, there you go. Terrence, you're right in this sense. You said women are not held as accountable for the majority of the actions in society as men are in this instance with this matter. So let's put that on there. I don't mean in general, but when it comes to domestic violence, there is an automatic presumption that the woman is the victim. So if you're saying it in general, then women gonna jump on you, Terrence.
But
in situations like this, there have been, a lot of times, so a lot of women will, so to speak, throw a rock and then hide their hand. I was taught, do not put your hands on anybody unless you're prepared to receive that smack right back. I'm not gonna sit there and fight my dude and not expect him to hit me back. Like
which brings me to a question I want to ask about that. Do you blame the men the same way that for me, when I see a woman in an abusive relationship and you're as a friend and as a family member, you're telling her, girl, get out of that. Don't stay with no man that beats you. You know what I'm saying? I've been on that end where you realize you throw your hands up because she ain't going nowhere and it is what it is. Do you feel that same way with the man because I talked about a close friend of mine that it took a lot to get him out of this. So since we're talking about double standards and hypocrisy, how do you guys feel about, and Tasha, you brought up the incident where the woman was breaking damn near everything in the house and slashing tires and cutting it with knives and all that. We witnessed all this, but the man stayed.
And I'm not even gonna lie, I've given misguided advice to the man in this sense. Smack that bitch one good time and she'll stop. That's my advice. Smack them back one good time and they're not gonna do it again. That's what mine would be, because again, it goes back to, if you put your hands on somebody, then be expected to get smacked back. You have every right to defend yourself. And I think, and again, this no matter what it is, a man is a man biologically, physiologically, they are stronger than women. So one good smack, you ain't got to punch him too much, just a good open hand smack. I think it would have knocked some sense into her. She knew she couldn't have done that again.
Well, I gotta say, I have been a man beater. I'm not gonna lie. I have beat a nigga up. I gotta be honest. And I agree with you, Tasha. When you put your hand on a man, you gotta be prepared, because he can knock you the fuck out. So I jump back and I'm prepared. Let's get it rocking. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I done beat a nigga up before, and they locked me up for it. And I sat in there and I was angry because I felt like, because of what he did, whatever that made me beat him up, he should have just wore that and kept going. You understand? Even though he dropped all charges on me, because I was sitting in that jail cell after I beat him up, saying, every day that I'm in here, I'm going to get out and I'm going to beat the fuck off of him.
Sherry, Sunday.
Oh, sorry. I said, I'm going to get out and I'm going to do her in for all the days he had me sitting here. Unfortunately,
she having PTSD flashbacks.
You're not in the cell anymore.
She went all the way back there.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, y'all, but when I had that situation, he locked me and my daughter up because we jumped him. And I warned him though. I said, listen, me and my daughter will jump. We did jump him. They locked our monkey selves up. We was in that cell. We was looking at each other for an hour, saying nothing. But I'm telling you what was going through my head. But he dropped all the charges and they let us out. And I went to the courts, got the paper that it got it shut down where he can't even try to judge that up again. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I have beat a nigga up, one or two niggas up. Now yeah, they could have, but I'm not gonna lie. I expect once I put my hands on them, I'm jumping back and I'm ready because we gonna rumble. That's the person I am. But I think it's not right. I'm not gonna tell you that for a woman to be putting their hands on a man, because then like you say, he can slap you, fire off you. But I have did that. But as I got older, should I say, I try not to be that person. You understand? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. My husband is sitting right here. I have been in situations where him and he could be mad enough. I have took a wooden statue and popped him across his fucking head. I mean, his head. Sorry, Freddie. And
fight back, Tony. Fight back.
I just think it's hilarious that she'll say the F word, but she won't say monkey ass.
Right. But she said monkey self. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, but the thing is, I realized he got to have a love for me because he could have slapped fire off me. But we'll be rumbling, but we ain't going to go to that because I ain't going to give him no ideas because listen, don't play no games, won't be none. But
that was my question, Sherry, is do you think if he had slapped you just one good time some years back, you would have probably not put your hands on him again?
Probably, because I was younger. Honestly, because I've been with him since I was 17. So probably. But I was like a fiery little type of person.
I like her honesty. I love her honesty.
Yeah, probably. He might, especially when I was younger, he might be able to slap me into some senses then.
Because it's funny you say that. My one and only time of hitting a woman, she slapped the fire out of me. And that was enough. That literally was enough. I did not like how it felt. And so I knew in that moment, I'm never going to try that again because I'm not built like that and prepared for nobody hitting me back like that, But yeah, so to your point, sure, I appreciate your honesty, but that goes to why I asked that question. Because if the person stays, whether it's a man or a woman, you're inviting it to repeat itself.
Yeah.
That's why I phrased it that way. And so we're laughing about a serious topic of domestic violence. My hope for you, sis, I've had these conversations and we'll mention it freely here. You are a different person because what we talked about for the audience that don't know is anybody that could take you there, that's not a good relationship. So hopefully you guys are past that level of toxicity, where that's what I'm saying with having this. So I want the audience to know that about you, that I don't want them thinking of you now that when this camera goes off, you're hitting them on the head with a wooden statue.
Right.
He would not be sitting on the sideline right now. I want them to understand that the personal growth and maturity that you're at that place now to where that if somebody could push my buttons enough that I feel like I got to hit them, I need to get out of that relationship. And that's for any of my viewers, male or female, are watching this, that there is nothing healthy about that.
That's true.
That when it comes to violence, we're not meant to do that. That's not love on any level. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's not sexy. Don't make the guy manly. I talk a lot of cash shit, to be honest with you, but I'm sitting here telling you, never put my hand on a woman. Never had to. I've ended a few relationships when they wanted me to, because I know that for me, that's just nothing going to be healthy. And you're damn sure not going to be breaking up my stuff. Everything, I'm a selfish enough person that I buy everything in my place is mine. You can't take a TV out of here, a phone, a book. There is nothing you can take. This is my joint, everything in it. And I relish that, so that you can't tear nothing up in here. And so it's not going to happen. the few incidents I've had in my life where they thought they might want to get violent, that's when I knew it's time for you to go. You know, and again, for me, there is no looking back on it, because once you show me that trait, that either you're going to be violent towards me or you want me to be violent towards you, that's not healthy for me.
Brother,
You know?
I'm sorry, but you said that, and in my mind, I was just thinking, if I had you and dating you and I wanted to, I would have punched you in your stomach and I would have drugged you all down.
No, no, now don't get it twisted. So don't get it twisted, audience out there. I'm not a pacifist, so I'm not a pacifist. Don't get it twisted. I have had incidences where I had to be physical. You know, long story short, we got about 5 minutes. I had a young lady who had took it to that level, and I'm driving, and you know, and I'm telling her, you need to be quiet. I'm gonna put you up out of here. She told me what I wasn't gonna do. So don't get it twisted now. I pulled over to the side. I drug her monkey ass out by her feet. Because I am a man. And I slung her as far across that sidewalk as I could. Got in my car and I went on about my business.
I don't mean to be
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm not a pacifist, but I don't want to go there. But I'm always going to defend me. And this wasn't even when I was a big old fat guy. I was a thin guy. But no. We're not doing that. You're not. I love you, sis. You punch me in my stomach, I'm gonna punch you in your neck and all kinds of stuff. So to your point, we would have been rumbling. Just so you know. Look. That brings us to the end. You guys have been witnessing to how Real Talk handles hot topics.
Oh man!
So we do it different here. We've had a great time. I thank you guys for spending this time with me on a Sunday of all days. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the beautiful part about it is it's only 8 o'clock. So whether you got to go to work or you got family, you got dinner, you still got plenty of time. I thank you. Terrence, Joseph, Jen, tuning in. I thank you as well to spend time with asking questions and keeping it interesting. I love you guys. I love my viewership. I love my audience. I truly do. So I'll go around. Last words for anybody you want to say as we wrap up. Hot topics, Real Talk style. What you say, Sherry?
No, we had a good time, as we always do. I'm glad to see you back, Ken. I seen Tasha Wednesday. I'm glad to be back on because we be having fun.
That's what's up. Brother Ken, what you say?
Man, I'm just glad you back. You know, I know it's the summertime. You know, it's kind of difficult to get the audience, but you bring the hot topics, you and Tasha, and I'm just glad to be on and kind of be a little bit of. I can show a little bit more of my personality, more so when I'm doing my sports stuff. So I'm just glad to be here, man, and then talk about this stuff, man. We got a lot to say, and to the audience, I'm getting ready to do a shameless plug again. Make sure you tune in Wednesday. Real Talk for Real Men. Make sure you tune in Wednesday.
Thank you guys.
And then if you got a little bit of time on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 7, check your boy out on TFG Sports.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna yell at you like Stephen H. Smith. I'm not doing all that yelling. I'm just like I'm talking now. I'm gonna talk to you, and we're gonna talk about some of the hot topics in sports. So I'm just glad. I'm just glad.
Grown man style, y'all.
Yes, sir.
I can tell you.
Yes, sir.
Joseph Kenny asked, so plug it all the way, my brother. He said, "What's your show?" Because he's talking about subscribing.
Okay, it's TFG Sports Media on YouTube. Just make sure you just search that. Go on YouTube, search TFG Sports Media, search it. You'll see it. Click that subscribe button, share it, like 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. So check me out. Hopefully, my boy Black will be able to go on with me this Tuesday. I know his schedule be kind of.
I'm sorry, I missed my brother, and I anytime I would love to be on.
If you're available this Tuesday, I'd love to have you on.
Absolutely. I don't have let me. I'll let you know for sure.
Let me know. Okay.
But I would love to pop in and be there. We're gonna do one more plug for me and Kenny on Mondays. We're on Brenton Haynes show again, TFG Media. And if you ain't a part of that, you missing a fantastic show because we talk about politics. You know that you're not supposed to talk about religion or politics. We do politics and we do it for real. We
Yes,
we
sir.
are the late night morning team. We do it for real.
Yes,
we,
sir.
we do it right. You just gained a new viewer, Kenny. He said
Thank you,
done.
Joseph. Thank you,
He said
brother.
done.
Appreciate you, man. Share that
That's
with
what's
all your
up.
peoples. Appreciate
That's
you.
what's up. That's what's
Alrighty.
up. And Tasha, what you say?
Nothing. Great show. I know we didn't say it at the top of the show, but R.I.P. Biz Markie. You know, we're losing a lot of great
Dang,
stars.
that's
this year.
right. That's right.
So, you know,
Yes.
everybody just take the time, appreciate everyone when they're here, and you know, just love on each other.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And sorry,
Of course.
brother.
Huh?
Sorry for my mouth.
I get carried
away.
You all right. That it was you and not me. Audience, that tells you I ain't the only one who cursed. So,
it runs in the family.
It runs in the family. It runs in the family. And I was the good one today. So you all right, sis. But I love you. I love you more than life. You just don't know. You're my heart. And I love my audience. Kenny, my brother, I call you that, and I don't use that term loosely. This is my brother right here, y'all.
Yeah, Kenny, you our brother now.
That African American men can get together and show that we're not always at each other's throats. It's not about violence. We are intelligent. We are articulate. We care about a variety of different things. That's why this is my brother. I love him to death.
Love you too, brother.
McMac is my best friend. Y'all already know.
Love you too, Tasha. Love you too.
You know, that's my baby girl. And in case you guys don't know, this is going to be going forward. This Sunday format, I actually credit Kenny with this. He actually helped us to realize that this is a better format for the summer. Thank you again, my brother. Appreciate you. So check us out on all the different mediums. You know, Mondays with Brenton Haynes. Tuesdays is the Kenny Sports Show. On Wednesdays, Real Talk. And on Sundays, Real Talk again. If you want us, find us. We appreciate you. Everybody enjoy the rest of this Sunday evening and have a fantastic week. We'll do this all through the week. God bless you and everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.